We are loud, obnoxious, and completely inappropriate. Viewer's discretion is strongly advised. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Coffee Mug Show. This is episode 18, recorded live on episode 18, recorded March 18, 2019. My name is Leonard. I am joined by two of my lovely co-hosts, Derek and Mark. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Hey. So Chad is not feeling under the weather, so he's not going to be joining us today, but he is going to join us next week. So how are you guys doing today? Mark, did you end up watching Captain Marvel? No. Okay, so we can't talk about it.
No, you cannot. No.
Okay, so let's start with our first topic here. Actually, let me just do this first. Put the chat up. So before we start, if you guys are watching us live at YouTube and Twitch, our chat rooms are open. So please join us in our conversations. So our first topic, well, let's just say this. Our topic for this week is a lot more cheerful, sort of, compared to last week's episode. So it's going to be a lot more conversational piece without us being a downer. So
That's an understatement.
yeah. So let's go straight for our first topic. Gmail, Google Drive, had a global outage this week. Gmail users flooded social media on Thursday evening to complain about the problem sending emails. Also, some reported issues with Google Drive, including spotty performance and certain file types not opening. According to an internal message posted on Google's G Suite status dashboard at 7:53 p.m. Pacific, that was on Tuesday, both Gmail and Google Drives were experiencing what is described as service disruptions. Google confirmed the outage of their services. It was widespread and appears to cover North and South America, Europe, Asia, and Asia. Although not all users were impacted. Did you guys hear about this?
Nope.
No?
Not a clue.
Not a clue?
Nothing happened to me. Nothing happened to me.
Well, everyone is actually speculating it could be a DOS attack. So it's a service disruption attack, but it's not. Apparently, they just stopped working.
That seems unlikely.
I know, right? Well, they're not really saying anything. According to the research when I was putting this together, there's no such thing as an attack. They did not say anything about it as an attack. It's just a system disruption.
You know what? Everybody expects these guys to be perfect. You know what? It's technology. It's technology. People, it's one way or another, or one time or another, it's going to go down. And it's not something that anybody wants, and it's not what Google or any other host wants to happen, but it's going to happen. You can have as many redundancies as you can. You can have as many backups as you can. But hey, guess what? If somebody accidentally cuts the power line,
Yeah.
you know, it's gonna happen, and it happened here, right? Like that one time where Rogers Cable had a major outage.
Yeah, it happened today, actually. I didn't have internet for a better part of the afternoon.
I don't know. I've had internet all day long. So yeah. I'm just saying that with Rogers a few years back there was construction going on close to one of their data centers. Construction guys drilled too low and too deep and cut one of their lines. And it took a while for somebody to figure out that caused the issue. So it's gonna happen. So
it's kind of funny though, because Platinum's actually saying it's fake news. So no, it's not actually fake news. It's actually real. Fake news. This outage actually is a real outage. It did brought it down. So it's not fake news. It actually happened. So here's a little doozy here though, eh? The next day, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp actually reported a global outage right after Google's. Facebook and Instagram appears to be partially down on some users around the world. While you can open the platform and some service appears to be back restored, users are still reporting issues sending messages. So people are having issues accessing Facebook.com, Instagram, and WhatsApp, including the app itself for Facebook. It also affects Facebook's own Oculus. How do you spell it? Oculus VR.
Yeah, Oculus.
It was down as well too when it happened. So it was a back to back. So again, I did actually check if it's an attack for a service attack. They said it's not. According to Facebook, they said that they were doing a massive upgrade of their privacy their privacy. Or sorry,
Okay.
they're doing an upgrade, but it actually someone did something. That's what according to Facebook.
Okay.
So
So
so I'm just hoping this is not an attack. This is like a back to a big social company like service
you know
attack
what?
thing.
I'll say
Hopefully
this:
it's
if
not.
it was an attack, Facebook is gonna say it was an attack. Why? Because of all this other bullshit that they had to deal with before. They're gonna say they're gonna be upfront with this one. Why? Because if it comes out that it was an attack and they don't say anything, guess what?
In trouble again.
They'll be in trouble again.
Yeah.
Okay, so it may not have been the ideal time, and yes, they may have been doing a maintenance. Shit happens.
Yeah, this is
Like
like on
I,
top
I
of like everything else that's happening with Facebook.
I
I'm
went
kind
in.
of shocked at you, Mark. You're very forgiving on this. I'm
You know-
shocked.
You know what?
I mean, I want to put this in the context because, it's email. I mean, honestly, if anyone I want to have fail, I don't care about email. I care about if, the ambulance I'm in dies of gas or has gas or there's redundancies at the hospital. That's what I give a damn about, right?
Yeah.
Not email. But having said that, you're very forgiving about this. I was expecting a much different response.
Okay, here's the thing. Let's see. How many times have I logged into a couple of my games and I can't play them because there's maintenance on the servers, so I have to wait. How many times have I had to shut down our corporate network for say an hour because we were doing an upgrade, right? Or we were doing an upgrade overnight, but yet shit happens and it fails and it went on to the next day.
Well,
So for me, I've gone through it in a sense where, yeah, sorry, your emails are not working because we're doing maintenance. And unfortunately, our maintenance ran over the time and we ran into some issues and it's still not up yet. We're working on the issue.
here's the thing though, because we're talking about we're talking about two companies that are massive. They're a global company that the public uses.
Okay, so I'll tell you this. Have you ever heard the terminology? $50,000 machine breaks down because of a $2 part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where-
You can have.
Where's the redundancy though? Where's the
I would
redundancy?
think, though, that
You know-
Facebook and all them have farms everywhere, computer farms everywhere, and there's redundancies for
Okay.
redundancies. So I'm not saying that's unlikely, but would they not have a redundant farm or something like that? Will they have backup?
Well, as far as I
Yeah.
know, Facebook
again-
does because they got like servers all over the place because they
But I'll
got
tell
in
you
trouble
this,
about that.
But here's the thing again. It's also, although they have the redundancies, it's still human beings running the show. Right? So if something goes down in one end and they're trying to, they were doing, let's say, for example, because it was off time in, say, the southern hemisphere. They're 12 hours ahead of us, so it's midnight there. They're doing a maintenance run and they shut down their servers over there because they're doing a maintenance. Well, if they shut down their redundancies over in the south and something happens in the north that needs to connect to the south, but the south is down, there's going to be delay somehow. How long was the outage for?
According to for Google, it shut down at 7 p.m. So they didn't go back up and running until at least 11 o'clock, Pacific. Facebook was down for a better part of 12 hours, I think. But the thing
Okay.
is, it was night for us. It was during the day at the other side of the world.
other side of the world. And this is exactly what I'm saying. It's like I
Well,
I'm
you have to keep an
here-
eye on that, so because Europe and Asia has a bigger market than North America.
well, again, it's if a node goes down. Well, here's the thing: if a node goes down, but it's not Facebook's node,
Sucky will not allow that.
I know, but I'm just saying. Like again, they like. I'm just saying because, like I said, I've been in their situation. I've gone through it, and sometimes it's shit just happens, and you can't nothing. Like again, it's like, were you affected by it?
I was worried about my my Google side because Google's all my business stuff is actually under Google, including the
Okay.
shows under Google. So,
Okay.
of course I'm like freaking out.
But did you like? I never had any issues. Like from the time being, I've never heard that there was an issue. I never got affected by this issue. So the Google issue, the Facebook issue, the WhatsApp issue, the Instagram issue, I never had any issues. So if half the world is okay, but the other half isn't, and they're trying to fix that issue, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's like how much more? Like I have more complaint with Facebook running the stream for 17 minutes before they decide to shut it down. And I'm talking about, I'm sorry, I've said this is, I don't want to put it down. I'm talking about the New Zealand issue, like with the situation that happened.
Yeah,
in New
they
Zealand.
had to shut. Everyone shut it down.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
took them 17 minutes.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
But to be fair to Facebook in that sense, is that were they aware of what was happening? 17 minutes, I mean,
But
it seemed
it
like a
doesn't-
long time, but
don't forget Facebook, YouTube, they have algorithms running and showing these things that certain things will get flagged and can get possibly shut down right away. Plus, they have people monitoring this shit. And
yeah,
then-
but for that, I mean, of course, I don't know. I look at it and I go, think about the time it takes for you to email a buddy saying there's a system problem or something to that effect. The machine flags it, say it takes it a minute to flag it or whatever that might be, and then it goes up a chain and there's a process probably internally they have to go through in order to shut down the stream, whatever that process is internally. It's bureaucracy, right? It
Mhm.
goes through, has to get a manager's approval or whatever that might be or whatever,
Actually,
right?
I mean, I'm not the only one that's complaining. A lot of the news media were complaining about the exact same thing. When it comes to certain aspects and certain streams, they don't need a manager's approval. If the situation, if whatever is being displayed is extremely violent and it's actually happening at the time, and people are getting, you can shut down that stream without any managers.
I'm not
approval.
defending them here. I'm posing a question of logistics, right?
Yeah.
Posing a question of was it an unreasonable time? I mean, obviously there's somebody at Facebook or whatever 24/7. So it's not a
Mhm.
question of a person not being there. It's a question of how long does our algorithm take to identify something? And, obviously lots of people will be MSNing or whatever Facebook does about what's going on and so forth, so they pick up on that as well. I just wonder. I wouldn't expect it would be an intentional delay. Do you know what I mean?
I
I wouldn't.
understand it. And then yeah, but in regards to aspects of certain situations, again, there could be delay in doing something. You can again, shit happens. And something that people feel that needs to be rectified ASAP can't be rectified ASAP.
So,
Right.
Sorry, Mark. So, in our chat room right now, everyone, actually, I have a question to ask the chat room. The outage for Facebook and Google, all the services for Facebook, all the services in Google. Did you guys experience anything throughout the outage at the beginning of this week? And also, we are talking about the shutdown of Google, Facebook, and not shutdown. Sorry, the outage of Facebook and Google, and the other one is about how fast is to take down a video because of the New Zealand massacre. Is it Massacre? Can
Yeah,
we
it was
say
a
that?
massacre.
We can say that, right? Okay. I just want to make sure. I don't want to sound very insensitive here. Yeah, it is. It's this tragic loss in New Zealand. The video itself was shut down because of the violent content of it, and Facebook was under attack regarding how slow they brought down that video, um, because it was being televised live. It was being streamed live. That's how bad it is.
No, here's my
So
question: did with other, and I don't really know the answer to this, so I'm asking you guys because I actually haven't seen it. Did other news agencies pick up snippets of the stream
no,
and
they
rebroadcast it at all?
they weren't broadcasting anything because it was really bad. It was like
Yeah,
really really
I
bad.
mean, we also have to take a look at the time difference. We were all asleep when it was happening,
Yeah.
right? I believe it was very early morning here when it happened, and while it was almost like midday in New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
Because
So,
it was
yeah,
during
it's
Friday.
midday, yeah.
It was during the prayer time,
Yeah.
and it you know what? I don't even want to watch it. And
No,
I
I
know
don't want to watch it either. It's appalling.
I heard a few people today who have copies of it, and a
Why?
lot of a
Why
lot
would-
of
yeah.
somebody had it. Somebody was sent a copy to it, and they were listening to it, and all you could hear is the gunshots. And I'm like,
Why would you
people
even watch it? That's morbid.
but that's how some people are.
Yeah,
They get that,
unfortunately. Yeah.
But like so again, like getting back to issues pertaining to whatever's going on. Yeah, I'm actually being a very bit um what did you say it? How did you
Morbid?
say it, Derek?
Me?
Yeah.
In regards to what the first thing or the thing we're actually supposed to be talking about or the New Zealand thing?
No, what we're talking about, how I'm very calm and I'm very
Yeah, I was saying I was very shocked that you were taking this position. I expected you to be much more.
Okay,
much more
well,
but see again, this is where my experience comes from. I was in IT before I switching over to construction. I was in it for 15 years. So I've seen certain things happen, and you try your best to make sure everything is always working, but like I said, shit happens,
Yeah.
and you can't.
I'd say your explanation was quite good. I think your explanation was quite good.
Mhm.
It was quite convincing.
Well,
So-
Platinum actually experienced the issues regarding posting on Facebook during the outage.
Well, some of our fans are. That's all they do all the time is sit on their phones and use that stuff. So I can understand how some fans might be impacted by that.
Again, like I don't know. I have more issues with if my internet was actually down than if Facebook was down. I think I'll be more stressed out if my actual internet was down.
Yeah, I think I agree. I would be. Well, actually, it's not to say I am stressed out when the internet is down because I pretty much do a majority of things that I do off work hours, for that. But also for my work, I need the internet as well. So for me, it's a much larger question. So yeah, I'm stressed out with the internet.
Here's a simple question to ask for all of you guys, including the chat room. Do you think the internet, doesn't matter what form it is, dial up or whatever, would the service be considered or should be considered as an essential
No,
service?
No,
No.
You won't be able to do that. No.
no. I here's the thing. There was a year and a bit that I was in a situation where I didn't have internet at home nor cable. I only had whatever I had on my phone, whatnot. Guess what? I just popped in a DVD. I did other things, right? Internet is a tool, and it can be a very useful tool in regards to communicating worldwide regarding business, family, getting some information, and try. But then again, it actually has taken over
Over our lives.
over our lives. And who was it? Was it Albert Einstein? Was it Albert Einstein that made that little prediction back then, where he's saying that in the future all of us, our heads will be down on looking at our phones or whatever like that?
I don't think he specifically said that, but I think I
probably,
understand where you're going.
oh, come on. Now you're going to make me look for that. I got to
So
go
you
look
gotta
for
use the
that now.
internet to look at that, right?
Yeah.
Albert Einstein said a lot of amazing things. I don't think he said your heads are going to be in the phones, though.
How about you guys in the chat room? What do you guys think? Is the internet considered as a
Everybody's
essential?
looking for Albert Einstein quotes right now. This is great.
No, it's one of those things where like somebody made a prediction, like literally a prediction saying that our heads will always be down and then technology will be taking over our lives or something like that. Um I feel that it came true because can you live without your phone, your smartphone?
Well, that's an interesting question because a lot of it depends on the generation that you ask, right?
Mhm.
I mean, when we were kids, I mean, we were outside all the time. You'd have to go to a payphone. You say that to a kid today, what the heck's a
You don't
payphone?
even know what a
Then,
payphone is.
then you'd have to have a quarter actual money to pay for the phone call. And then you would have to
I
find
mean,
a phone, and then but then what you would do is different actions. Like you'd arrange a time to meet your buddy, right? So you say, hey, man, I'll meet you here at whatever time, and that was how you scheduled stuff, not over Facebook or whatever it might be now. There's a lot of there's more instant gratification, right?
Well, it was the
And
same
so
thing with the
I think
phone,
I think
though.
to say, could we survive without our phones and the internet? Of course we could. We'd
Well,
just be carrying around bus maps again.
well, here's the thing, though, because after you said that, do you remember the day that the phone was not considered essential? Now it is.
I'm sorry?
Remember before a phone, just a regular phone, that's a landline or a mobile phone,
Mhm.
was not considered as an essential. Now it is.
Yeah, but our phones now do multiple different things.
Yeah.
That's why it's considered essential, not so much the phone part.
Well, here's the great. Actually, in our chat room says Platinum says it's not the internet's fault for taking over; it is our fault for letting it and not having self control. Internet is a want, not a need. It's like
Yeah.
spandex. It's not a right. It's a privilege.
You know what's the worst part? You know what the worst part is about
Why
that?
would you
No,
want it?
hang on. You know what the worst part is that I almost literally said that exact same thing. That's really good.
It is true though.
You're right.
It's a right now privilege. And the internet, in my opinion, should be looked at soon to be considered as an essential, like a phone.
Why?
It's a communication device. It's a method of communication.
It's a method of communication. So the internet is a method of communication.
VoIP is using some type of internet.
That's not to say, like, even
don't
I
need-
believe it was
here's-
actually
here's the thing.
today.
Okay.
Okay, here's a
so
good
now
example.
Don't bring up VoIP because guess what? You could eliminate VoIP and you could still pick up a phone and make a phone call.
Yeah, but if you have a POT,
What?
if you have a POTS line,
A what?
an analog line.
No, well, you could even have a digital line. I have freaking a digital landline phone.
Well, what happened if you remove the IP part of that internet of that?
Guess what?
phone?
I could still make an emergency call and any of my lines call 911. Like I'm just saying.
Well, okay. Either way, it is the phone right now is considered essential, right? And a majority of people outside North America uses some type of internet connection to have a communication.
Yeah, but what you're talking about is more the device rather than the actual service. But having said that, it's a matter of connectivity as well. I think it was actually today where the budget came out for the Canadian government, and they want to put $10 billion towards getting rural communities connected in high-speed internet and so forth, right? So it is a priority in the sense of getting everybody connected, but it is not an essential service, but it is something that we're trying to create some consistency across the country, right?
Yeah, agree.
Because
I don't know.
again,
Well, sorry, go ahead.
If we're talking about a phone being an essential because of communication, you don't need VoIP. All you need is your cell phone, right? How many more people have cell phones compared to internet?
How many people are using the? Oh, okay.
Well, that's actually a little unusual because most people who have a cell phone, the majority, I would think, have internet along with it, with their service plans or whatever that might be. Yes, it's still possible to get a phone without internet. That's true. But
No, no,
I,
I'm just saying. Okay, in the first world countries, sure, that's perfectly a perfect scenario to say. However, if you look at third world countries, and I'll specifically speak of the Philippines because that's where where we're from or I'm from, and my family's from, and Leonard's family's from. Although there are people who have phones and internet, and everything, the poor people in the Philippines, a lot of them don't have TVs or internet. However, what I've been seeing, a lot of them have some phone, has a form of communication via cell phone, and it's one of those load. It's the pay-as-you-go phones. If they can get a load, they'll be able to put it on, and they'll have it. They have that more. Those I've seen that people have more of a cell phone than having an internet. So
is that a socioeconomic question though, or is that a question around
It's
culture or
infrastructure more than
it's
anything else.
infrastructure.
So what you're
Right.
saying is just from a technical perspective, they can't get the internet. But as I understand it, in the Philippines is there's a lot of communities isolated. There's a lot of distance between them. I mean, it's the Philippines Islands, but still, there's a lot of hills and mountain
Yeah.
ranges and all that. So infrastructure is difficult across those areas, right?
Yes.
And I don't know. I mean, maybe it's I know that it's
No.
socioeconomically poor. Various communities are poorer than others. Like it's different if you go.
Okay. So let's not take a look. Let's not take a look at the other islands. Let's just take a look at Manila itself
Okay.
and the surrounding cities. There are, like I said, I've seen it and I've experienced it, and I've seen some that, and unfortunately, I've actually experienced it here, even in Toronto, where the homeless, um, they don't have a house, they don't have food to eat on a regular basis, but I've seen them have their cell phones.
Okay, I
I've
can't say I've seen that. That's an
Yeah,
interesting.
I have.
it's actually Mark actually made a good point. There's actually a an article came out, especially came out from CTTV regarding homeless having a cell phone, and they said that it's the only way they can communicate with some of their peers because for safety reasons more than anything
Yeah,
else.
and therefore and this is where I'm just getting back to you regarding the internet being an essential service. The internet is a service, but it's not a communication service in regards that um that it's required for people to have, right? All you need is a cell phone to make a phone call, and I believe I just made a point where I've seen homeless people have cell phones because they are, they need to be, and you said it yourself that they use it to keep themselves safe, to be able to contact other people, that to let them know they're safe. So that kills your argument about it being an essential service because of
I said
communication.
my question is should it be considered an essential services?
I think our answer is no.
No, for now.
You
Okay,
know,
so-
like, okay, yeah, because you can. Like, I mean, even if you ask me now, like, I have Rogers Ignite. It's cable TV over internet. If the internet decides to die and go away, guess what? I can call back up and just give me regular digital cable. I get my cable back and I get my TV back. Right? So
yeah. Stay tuned for this. We're gonna go back to this in the next couple of years and see what happens.
Vindicated. Yeah.
wait. Did I just shut you up? Did I just...
Well, I just posed a simple questions. You just like went all out. That's all I wanted to hear. So, okay, guys.
Oh, come on. You wanted that? Okay.
So here's actually our next topic is this. I have a next question for you guys. Do you guys know where you guys gonna be in April 6th, 2019? Do you guys know where you guys gonna be?
That's a
Sorry.
Saturday, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Wait a minute.
Do you know
Platinum,
where you're gonna be?
Platinum just had a comment here. This is funny because you guys are all on using the internet right now.
Yeah, so I have a couple of questions for you guys. Do you guys know where you guys gonna be on April 6th of this year?
April 6th
Yeah,
of this year.
of this year.
It's
Let's
a
see.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Is it a Saturday?
I think so.
No,
Yeah.
I knew it's a Saturday, and I didn't look at my phone.
Okay. Okay. In other words,
That's
April
impressive,
6th.
eh?
okay. Okay. How about this?
I'll probably be recovering from the night before, so I'll be home.
Okay.
But most likely, I'll be doing a few things.
Okay. Do you guys heavily rely on the GPS system?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
How about you,
Sorry.
Derek?
I memorized the map of the Greater Toronto area.
Okay. Well, how about you, Derek? Do you rely on GPS?
I don't have to rely on GPS, but I think for efficiency, like a route that I would go would possibly be less efficient by my memory than
Yeah.
it would be by GPS. So I think the only difference is there the efficiency of which way I would go. Like you said, right now, for me to get across, Toronto, I could do it without looking at anything. But it would come down to train times and so forth. But
Yeah.
I'm somebody who's used public transit my whole life, so I'm very used to doing that,
Yeah.
keeping that information in my head. So I don't really rely on that. Although I will say that I do rely on it in the sense that it's convenient.
Yeah. So the reason why
Yeah.
I'm actually asking this question is GPS system is having their own mini Y2K bug next month.
Really?
Yeah, GPS technology was originally built with a short-sighted timekeeping system that will reset next month and has the potential to cause chaos around the world. The rollover issue costs.
How would that happen? Okay,
Oh
let's go
yeah,
back
let
to
me keep going here. The rollover issue caused by the GPS system counting weeks until using a 10-bit parameter. This means they start counting at week 0 and resets itself at week 1024. The first count started on January 6, 1980, and the first reset took place on August 21st, 1999. That means the next one is due on April 6th of this year. TomTom has told customers, if you frequently update your devices, there's no worries, as it's already rolled out a fix. Garmin says it's currently testing devices for any problems, but the vast majority of the Garmin GPS products has handled this issue handled this event without any issues.
Are we talking about the satellite alignment?
Yep, the one that's being run by the U.S.
Okay, all
government.
right.
Yeah, so the
Right.
whole system gets reset every 10-24 weeks.
Okay,
So-
you know what? I'll say this, and you know about magnetic north,
Yes.
that every year it moves
Yep.
a little bit
Yeah.
to the point where airports now had to change all their runways.
Yep.
Okay. Here comes Y2K. Oh yes, I lived through. I went through Y2K.
Everyone lived through it.
Everybody lived through Y2K. Guess what? Y2K, the year 2000. Where was I? I was doing technical support in some company. I completely forgot where.
I was
All right.
partying. in that
Were you
week.
sitting there at midnight doing it? Were you like, am I out of a job in like 3 seconds? Is that how you felt like?
I was
I
hoping
was
something
like, how
happened
many
that
different
week.
computer systems I had at home, and I went over. It was a BIOS update, I believe. So it just
Yeah, it
took
was
a
the
BIOS.
BIOS and the Windows update or something that you had
That's
to
it.
do.
I really wanted to see somebody at Y2K who were sitting at the front of their computer and the whole shit went down. Him go, I'm so fired. I want, that was
You know what? Okay. You know what? And that's the reason why we had the boom in the whole IT sector, where everybody was going into IT. Everybody was making the money and everything like that. Blah blah blah. This and that. You know, I'm just saying, it's just.
Everyone can move on. This is the second time it's gonna happen.
You know what? I'll
So-
tell you this, and I'm reading the article. Like, I'm rereading this one article, and it says, if you had, if you received an update in the last 10 to 15 years, then you should be fine.
Yeah.
Like, tell me
Yeah.
something. How many people don't update their GPS? Well, I can't say. Oh, there's a few because,
I have unlimited maps, so I have to update mine every quarter.
Garmin. I love Garmin. Garmin gives you unlimited
Yeah.
updates for the life of your life of the product, right? TomTom, I think you have to pay after a certain amount of years.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe.
Well,
So-
here's the thing though, because if you are using Google Maps, even MapQuest is still around. If you guys are using a digital GPS in your phone, it uses GPS and cell towers to triangulate where you are. So they said that it was not going to affect anything in a mobile space. But if you are relying on GPS like a third party to be installed in your truck, especially the truckers, they just want to make sure that everyone's aware that update your GPS. It's kind of important.
Sorry, guys. 1 second here.
Yeah.
1 month. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So,
The other thing to say here about this is that these satellites are owned and run by the U.S. government.
yes.
And their military is based around this. So it's not a question of is there going to be necessarily a problem with these satellites? It's very highly guarded. The encryption on this is something insane on these satellites, and they monitor them very, very closely in real time.
Oh yeah.
So it's not. It's more of a question of getting the word out there to make sure you've updated, as you said, a device that isn't automatically updated or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Right.
And when they rolled out the first GPS was 1980. No one actually has GPS, like privately used. I didn't get my
Right.
first GPS until 2005, I think. And the first rollover was 1999. That was like long time ago, right?
Right.
So
Yep,
like
okay.
back day, like I can tell you right now, I did not have a GPS in 1999.
I did.
We were still using the maps.
Yes, I used the Pearlies. I'm not sure if you remember the Pearlies. It's a book with all the streets in the city of Toronto. Toronto, Southern Ontario. So
We think fondly of three things: the Sears catalog, the Yellow Pages,
No, it's the consumer's distributed catalog. Get it right.
and the
Consumer's.
City Transit map
The
on
transit
paper.
map. Yeah. That was our GPS, young ones out there.
That was the,
We
that was
rely
the
on paper.
GPS, yeah.
We got this something called a map that we used when we were traveling
We
without a
used this,
GPS and a
watch,
phone.
a schedule and a map, and we did everything by like timing on this thing called a watch. You know, it was amazing. We
Exactly.
were like wilderness survival here.
In an urban situation.
You want a new friend? You open up the Yellow Pages and put your finger down, and you had a new friend.
No,
That's your
not
Google
my
search.
Pages. That's Yellow Pages.
Or Yellow Pages.
Yes, I'm old according to Platinum. Well, surprisingly, we are the tail end of millennials here, guys. So congratulations.
Millennials, what the hell are they talking about? What the hell is a Sears catalog? Actually, I might know what a Sears catalog is. Like, it's funny when you got that, you opened it up, you looked at all the toys when you were like really
yeah.
young.
Oh, we
You-
sound.
that was the-
Platinum says we sound old.
Okay, maybe we have to stop. I could go on. I'm gonna stop
Oh,
now.
wait. Oh, just so this is going out to Platinum because she asked, who has a line these days? Well,
Actually, I do.
I have mine right here.
I do have a landline. Yeah.
No.
We're debating to get rid of it, but we do have a landline.
Well, actually, keep your
Why do you
landline.
have a landline? Okay, let's ask Leonard.
Well,
Why
okay.
do you still have a landline?
It's
Okay.
not. It's a digital land. It's a Rogers landline, so it's not a straightforward POTS
It's
line.
not-
It would be
it's
nice
not
to
a
have a
true
POTS
landline.
line. Yeah, it would be nice to have a POTS line.
Oh, you probably
But-
have it because you have a package or whatever with Rogers, probably, right?
And that's
yeah.
exactly the same thing with. That's exactly the same thing with me. We don't use. However, it is still great, and I'll tell you this: it's still good to have one of these things.
Oh yeah.
Why?
I prefer
Because if something goes wrong, if cell communication goes wrong or anything, you plug this into any phone line in your house. It will work for you to be able to call 911.
See, for me, I want to go more analog than that. I
This
want
is
a
what you
traditional
need
POTS
if,
line. Right,
if
so.
it goes down. This is what you need here.
What is that?
What is that? Oh, radio.
It's a radio.
Well, for me, if I'm gonna go
Oh,
I want to
sorry,
change
Jared,
mine
did
to a
that work-
proper POTS line. So
Did that work in the what was it? The 2003 blackout?
I don't know,
Was it
man.
2003?
I've only had it for a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
see, for me, I
Talking
want to get a
about blackout,
proper
right?
yeah, like
The,
from
the whole Eastern Seaboard blackout.
I was in Vancouver living then, so no, sorry, I was in Banff living there. I was in the Rockies when I heard about that. I was like, oh crap! I tried to contact my parents, no answer. My brother finally got in touch with him, because they have a traditional POTS line. So I talked to him. He said he's on his way to pick up my parents all the way to downtown. So in a car, in the traffic, in the blackouts. That was my experience with that one.
I
So.
was when that happened. I was working at Epson technical support, the power went out, and they already knew the power went out. But because there was a backup generator that would last 24 hours in the building, they kept us working.
Oh, that blows.
Actually, I have
And
a funny
we
story
were
about that too. Sorry,
yes,
go on.
they also wanted us to field the calls for the United States because I was in the U.S. tech support. And then it was so funny because I had a gentleman call in. He was bitching and complaining that his printer's not working, and and he paid all this money for it, and he needs to get these printouts done.
Is he from New York?
He was from New Jersey, and I'm like, I had to ask him, sir, where are you right now? I am in New Jersey. Okay, sir, unfortunately, there's been a power outage. The whole Eastern Seaboard is completely out of power. Like, what? Like, try turning on your TV, try turning on your lights, because this was during the day, so, he may not have had his lights on, whatever. He goes like, oops, sorry, click.
That's when you tell him, you know what? You should put your printer back in the box and go back to the store and tell them that you're too stupid to use this printer.
Nah, I can't say that because some of these, I'll tell you this. I had another story where, and unfortunately, it was because the guy wanted to sell. He sold the printer to an older lady, like a senior citizen, say that I want to be able to print photos just like that, like just on the printer. However, as you know, on printer boxes, they have the printer, and it shows them printing a piece of a photograph or whatever coming out of the printer with no computer beside them at all. She thought she did not need a computer. The guy just sold it to her still.
Oh, Jesus.
And
I
she
had a
tried.
story about this too. 2003 when the power went out, man. So I
Was
was
it
working.
2003?
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
so-
my first year in
So
North
I was
Rockies.
I was in a call center then, and in this call center, it was in a mall, set up in a mall. It was one of those. It was one of the craziest jobs I ever worked at. Really terrible. One of those, telemarketing kind of jobs. It was terrible.
So you're one
And
of those. You're Chuck then.
Everybody there hated their job. And we were in this mall, and the only there was this, hey, in the mall against the storefront, you just have that panel glass in front. So that's all the natural light that was coming in, and the power goes out, and because it was so dark in there, it's just completely dead black in the place, except for this little bit of light coming in. And as soon as it happens, everybody kind of looks around at each other, and somebody just starts going, "It's the end of the world as we know it," and then the entire call center starts like singing this. Like,
Oh my god, that's awesome.
it was good. It was one of
That's
those funny
awesome.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, chat room. Do you guys remember when the power outage kicked it? Where were you guys during the power outage? Let us know, because I was the lucky one. So I was in the West Coast when that happened. So, yeah. So, any last thoughts with this before we get to our last topic?
Oh, we have another topic? Oh my God.
Well,
Really?
well, the Google one and the Facebook one was together.
So we've only done one topic.
We just
Okay,
did two topics.
Oh, okay.
So
Fine.
okay,
fine.
so this is actually this is gonna be good. I think you guys can have a lot of things to say about this. It's official. There's only one Blockbusters left in the planet. The Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon, discovered that their other store, the other store, located in Morley, Australia, that's the west coast of Australia, announced that they are closing. So the Oregon store is officially the only one left in the world. They've been open for.
This is not really a millennial friendly show today. We're not, like,
No, hold on. Let me finish.
we're talking about stuff that's like.
It's a
You
slow
have to
tech
explain
show, okay?
what Blockbuster is, okay?
Okay, let me finish this. So, so the Oregon location has been open for 20 years. Its customers knew the main things that they actually still renting out are the classic titles. Apparently, it's their bread and butter, and apparently, everyone's still going to that Blockbuster and renting movies, especially movies that they can't find in their streaming services like Hulu, Netflix, or Amazon.
They're not looking properly then.
Well, doing it legally.
I think it's a small town, guys. And actually, I watched a video of this today, and I believe that the manager of that store, actually meets people in a parking lot in this small town to exchange videos or purchase videos from them or whatever she's doing in this small town to have older titles that, as you say, people may not be able to find or whatever. But I think it must be more of a small town knit mentality in
Yeah.
regards to doing that.
Well,
So
it's kind of funny though because there's actually I'm not sure if you guys know about Queen Video. It's in downtown. They actually have two store locations, one in Queen Street and the other one's actually in the Annex in Toronto. And their biggest thing that right now they're still doing is actually renting DVDs. They're still renting them out, and their niche is renting out obscure classic movies that they can't find in, like, again, streaming. Doing this legally.
well,
But-
here's the thing. I think if you are looking at this from a legal perspective, I think finding very classic movies electronically can be difficult. Okay, on streaming services for a couple of reasons. A lot of these streaming services will not want to have, 1967 movie or whatever that might be, or even a certain genre, right? Early movies from the 50s, the old style alien invasion kind of ones and all that. Those are kind of funny to look at. Something to the effect of Science Theater, Mystery Science Theater 3000, that kind of stuff, the stuff they would review, that sort of idea.
Yeah, to be honest with you, when I was growing up, I loved going to Blockbusters just to see new movies and see what's out there. It's like it's literally you walk and everything is there for you, right? Including snacks.
I freaking hated Blockbuster, man. I freaking hated Blockbuster. You go in and you were on the new title, and if you weren't there by like 6 o'clock, you were screwed or something like that on a Friday night or whatever day it was released or whatever,
spend
right?
hours in the store.
Or
like
even
that.
even if you like forget to take the thing back and it's been like 3 days and you're like, damn it, I gotta pay the late fees now.
Do you notice? Do you notice that they charge you for rewind? Do you notice that if you don't watch the movie, they still charge you? And they
What do you mean?
Like, sorry, they charge you for. I remember. Sorry, let me start over again. I remember growing up that if you don't rewind your tape, your VHS tape, they charge you like $1 per rewind. Do you ever guys got charged for those?
Sorry, which one? What was that?
I remember growing up that if you don't rewind your VHS tape,
Oh yeah, they
charge
charge
you. It's like a big scam.
It was a big step because why they had those VHS tape rewinders? They pop it in, close it, and within like 30 seconds or a minute, it's done. And it's like, okay, $1.
It's kind of funny though because when I was at school learning, because one of my classes is doing analog video and analog audio maintenance, and one of the best practice is actually not to rewind your analog tapes. Because if you do, you'll get ghosting
working
issues.
in the medium? Are they like taking old cassette tapes and stuff, so forth, and doing this?
Yeah.
or-
So what they're doing right now is anything that's analog is being moved to digital for archiving reasons. But recording studios are actually going back to 2-inch analog tape because they actually sound much better than the digital.
You mean VHS? Or are you talking like 8-trap, or what are we talking about?
Right
here?
now, beta for broadcast beta tape was still being used until like 5 years. 5 years. They just stopped using it 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
I didn't even know that there was companies that still did that.
Yeah,
now. I mean, I knew-
beta is actually still considered a norm for until like 5, 7, 8, 9 years ago. Until digital playback has actually become more normal. But yeah, beta was still being used. I was still using beta when I was doing live production. I was using beta as a test tape for like 10, 15 years when I was doing it. I stopped using it was like, I don't know, 2011, 2012 I stopped using beta. So just keep that in mind. The analog side of it in the pro side, it's still being used, especially in audio. In audio, they're still using 2-inch reel to reel, even like 3.5 mil. So they do sound much better. So, but yeah. So just FYI, if you do have an old medium like VHS or beta, you should don't rewind it. Leave it in a fast forward state, because if you rewind it, the magnets or the materials actually the image will actually start ghosting.
Yeah.
So
Well, I still have a sealed copy of the three original Star Wars movies, not the limit, not the limited editions, not limited editions. What did he call it? The revamped editions.
okay.
So
Remastered.
the remastered editions, the one where he added more effects to it. I still have the three original on VHS, still sealed in their cases.
Really?
Let me ask you, how long would that video physically last, assuming you've never used it?
If it's in
I
a
don't know.
if it's in a if it's in a sealed um because magnetic tape you cannot you have to put it in a dry area, right? You have to be humidity controlled air room to keep it
It's
keep
in a
it in good
kind of
condition.
controlled storage facility.
Yeah, so if the only problem is that the longer the tape has been used, it actually gets brittle, especially gets dry. So that's why everyone's actually moving all their digital their analog tape analog like reels to a digital format because that there is a shelf times
Okay,
as
I've
soon as it
had
gets
those.
old, it gets old. So
I've had those tapes for over 20 years, and it doesn't really matter because I have the DVD versions of
yeah.
them and the Blu-ray versions of them.
So just
So
keep it
I'm just
sealed.
saying,
Just keep it
I'm
sealed.
just keeping them sealed because
Keep
the
it sealed.
moment
Don't
I
open
open
it. Don't open it.
the moment I open them up, I could see it. It just turns into dust.
Yes, yes. So just be careful. Just leave it sealed.
So,
But yeah,
oh,
but like vinyl, same thing. The older vinyl, they do get moldy. They do get grumbly. Like they can actually crumble. But the newer vinyls are actually pretty good. They're actually a lot better made.
well,
So
speaking of digital medias, movies, and everything like that. This one here is for platinum. So I just have this nice limited, steel case book. I gotta open it and watch it.
which was that?
Crimes of
What is it?
Grindelwald. The Crimes of
Oh,
Grindelwald.
oh yes. Well, we should definitely do a Harry Potter theme. This
You
will be
had to
interesting.
say it. You
I
had
know.
to
I had to
Oh,
say
yeah.
it. I have to say it. People have been asking for it.
A Harry Potter themed show.
Show. Yes, I think, guys. Actually, I'm gonna put
I'll
this in a
like-
vote. Actually, I'm gonna ask you guys this. I'm gonna ask you guys, you two boys there. I'm gonna ask you guys two questions. One, do you guys want to do a part 2 of Star Wars
Of course.
live? Like, all of us will be in the same room, so it'll be a lot more interesting, and possibly opening it to people to watch us, select a few. Next is, would you guys willing to do a Harry Potter theme conversation?
I'll do both. Why don't we do both together? How's that?
We can't do it together. It's gonna be a long
Yeah, I
day.
don't think we do both together, but yeah, well, unless we do 2 separate shootings or something like that.
We can do 2 separate shootings. We can definitely do that. But yeah, if you guys are interested in doing that, I can definitely put something together. Because I'm not gonna be available in October, better part of October. So would you guys willing to do it in September? Or even earlier, even
No, we can't
August.
do it
Oh no,
in
you
September
can't.
'cause-
You'll be gone in October. In
No,
August, I mean.
I'm gonna be gone the end of September, so it's
yeah,
gonna be
you're
a
right.
question
Because
and I'm gone at the end of July.
July, yeah. So
And then there's one weekend that we're not, all three of us are not
I
gonna be available.
know. But yeah, so if you guys want to spread the word there, people from the internet, if you guys want to have this show, especially our part 2 version of Star Wars and a pure Harry Potter geek out, we can definitely do it. We just have to find an exact date for it. Are you guys interested in having this like a live audience? Mark, Derek?
Live audience? Oh my god, that's gonna be. Do you think we'll be able to get through the show if there's?
It's gonna be one of those special days that our streaming time is 2 hours long if we need to. But if you guys are interested in doing this with a live audience, just let me know. You can take your time making a decision out of it. But yeah, it will be cool to have this in a live audience, and our chat room that's constantly with us since day one is especially VIP welcomed, and they can bring friends. And yeah, we can definitely make this a very cool show with recorded live with the studio audience and a clap track on top of that. So a laugh track too. So
Okay.
So
All right. So I think there was a couple of questions regarding this whole movie thing.
movie thing. Yes. Yeah. So do you guys still? I know you guys download your movies online. But do you guys download? Would you guys want to download it through a store, like an
I buy
online
it
store?
from brick and mortar store still.
Okay.
I do both.
He's the man showing you the DVDs.
I know,
He's the
right?
one-
So that goes to my next question. So do you buy your movies in a brick and mortar store?
Actually, next Tuesday. Wait. Sorry. Yeah, next Tuesday, which is the 26th, right?
Yes.
The
Yes.
26th.
Yeah.
So next Tuesday, Aquaman will be in my hands.
Oh, jeez, Wiz.
Sorry, I started. See, here's the thing, and you've known me. I'm a collector, and if I started something, when I started collecting, especially these steel bookcases of a series, I want to continue it.
Yeah.
So I started out with the fact that I was able to get all of the Hunger Games ones. I did not get all the MCU ones because a lot of them weren't in the beginning weren't in steel books. However, the DCEU ones, I've actually got all the steel books for it. So I got to continue that collection. And I'll sit down one day and I'll just pop them all in and start watching them.
Let your kids sit beside you and see what happens.
Plus, I also the one thing that I don't get when I download a movie is all the extra stuff,
Yeah.
like deleted scenes, the gag reels, commentaries. I like watching those things. So
Well, Platinum did ask how many DVDs do you have, Mark? Movie wise,
Oh.
DVDs and Blu-ray.
DVDs and Blu-ray.
Same thing for you too, Derek. How many do you have in your collection?
I don't have as many as I used to. I would not have as many as Mark. I'm certain of that. I do have. I'm a big sci-fi person, so a majority of my collection is sci-fi related. But it is pretty good collection. I have series like Stargate and Star Trek and things like that.
Okay, just to give you Platinum, just to give you an idea, there was one Boxing Day that I ended up spending $300 on DVDs and Blu-rays. Because they were like $9, $10 each.
I just don't have places to store that.
Yeah.
I got the majority of them are at my parents. I got 2 boxes full in the garage. Most of the newer stuff I have them here and I'm watching them. Put it this way, I have the full Smallville series. With the help of my parents, we have the full JAG series. NCIS, we're pretty much caught up with. NCIS LA, I think we're missing a few seasons. I have, like I said, I pretty much have all the MCU movies except for the Incredible Hulk, Thor 2, and Iron Man 3. I think those are the ones that are missing from my collection. I have all the Blades. I have all the Hunger Games. I have all the Harry Potters, Pirates of Caribbean, all the Star Wars movies for sure.
Here's the question though. Do you have Spaceballs?
No, because I can't find it.
No?
Like, no, I cannot find. Like, I want it so bad that I've gone and but again, I am not going to spend a ridiculous amount of money for it.
You check
Right.
Amazon? No, I'm kind of curious if it's in Amazon.
I want to know where it is. Like, I've tried looking for it. Like, you know what? And if it's on Amazon, I'm gonna freak out because that's the one place I have not checked.
The reason I'm asking the question, Mark, is because I think
By the way,
the true test of a collection is: do you have stuff that other people wouldn't have or easily be able to get?
FYI, Mark, Spaceballs is considered an import DVD.
Yeah, I know.
$9.97 in Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
It'll
plus,
be it can be delivered the next day.
I just looked at it now, but there's a specific. You know what? I'll probably just get the Mel Brooks collection. If that's the case. Oh my god.
Gee.
Now he's shopping. Okay, he's done with us.
I know. He's done. Okay, guys. So,
No,
So,
I like. See, the thing is, I
uh,
also want to be able to find it on like in a store, and I'll be like, wow, it's
the,
there. I gotta buy it.
actually, Michelle 289 asked if you have you checked HMV. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, HMV is still around.
Wait, no, there's no more HMV.
Yeah, there is.
Where?
There's one.
Where?
I think there's one in Square One.
No, there isn't. It got shut down.
No,
Air
it's
Mills?
all
That's
shut down,
gone.
buddy.
Air Mills?
It's
HMV
gone.
is gone. HMV is gone. They shut down all their stores.
Oh, really? I thought they're still still around. Like whatever's
No,
left
they shut
over.
down all their stores.
Okay, never mind. So HMV is not around anymore. But yeah. But I think our hour is up, boys. I just want to say
That's
thank you. Thank you for joining us. Chad is going to join us next week. Actually, I have one announcement to make.
Sorry,
Actually, two
sorry.
announcements.
It was HMV defunct in April 14th, 2017 in Canada.
Oh, never mind then. So you can't have an HMV. So I do have two announcements to make, guys. One of them is other one is Chad is gonna be back next week, but Chad and myself actually have a brand new show starting next week. Let me just get the calendar to give you guys exact dates here because I don't remember the dates, unfortunately. That's how bad I am in dates. So we're gonna actually have a brand new show called Jay's Talk. It's gonna be recorded live here in the channel itself, and the podcast will be released the next day. So we will be recording our first episode on Tuesday, March 26, 2019. That's next week. 2 days before first game of the Blue Jays. So it's a pure 100% Blue Jays show. We're just gonna geek out on the Jays, good, the bad, and the ugly about it. We're just gonna be all over about the Jays. The next announcement is I'm actually going to do a live commentary of the Apple keynote, special event keynote, next week on Monday, March 25th, starting at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. So if you guys can join me there, that'll be great as well. So, and after that, we'll back to our regular programming after that for the Coffee Mug Show. So those are two announcements. Stay tuned for the Jace show. You're gonna start seeing advertising on that one, especially during the weekends when we broadcast our shows. So yeah, so those are my announcements. Do you guys have any announcements before?
Well, first, sorry, I'm just getting to a comment that Platinum says. So she says the millennials killed HMV. You know, I was wondering. So if the video killed the radio star,
I knew it. So the internet killed HMV.
If video killed the radio star, what killed video?
Millennials.
Are we talking like? Is it like? Do you think it started with Apple's iTunes
Well, what's it called? Not well.
or streaming, or is it streaming killed the video star? Well,
Streaming?
no.
No, they didn't kill Video Star. They killed video
Sales.
sales.
Yeah.
Napster killed the music industry. So yeah. So yeah.
Oh.
So yeah.
Any other announcements?
No, that's it. So Monday at 11:30 we'll be streaming the
Internet killed the video star. That's what.
Yeah.
Platinum said.
So next Monday I'll be doing the stream for the Apple keynote. I'll be doing that, and the next day, the episode 1 of the Jays Talk will be airing 9 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be good. Definitely join us then if you guys like the Jays. Spread the word. That'll be much appreciated. So yeah. So
Marcus Strobe is getting the start.
yes, he is. So pretty excited about that. So guys, thank you again for joining us in today's show. We do record this podcast live at YouTube and Twitch every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you click on the subscribe button, you'll get notification when we go live and upload new content. You can download this episode and any other episodes at your favorite podcasting application. Just search for Radio9 Podcasting Network. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week at the Coffee Mug Show here at the Radio9 Podcasting Network. Good night, guys.
All right.
Night.